Brenda Green, and welcome back to Living in the Go. So today I'm talking to you about what I call ghost spending. I'm gonna hit a couple of target categories for you. If you recognize yourself in there, great, because this is the opportunity for you to do something a little bit different. So what do I mean by ghost spending? So if you're the kind of person who you run the credit cards, but then you're afraid to face the music, you don't want to open up the bills, they're still there just because you don't look at them or address them. They're still there, and that's the ghost spending because you're afraid to look at how much you're actually spending per month when you know you really shouldn't be. So that's a little bit of ghost spending. The other thing is, I'm going to call it self-talk. So sometimes we'll talk to ourselves, we'll get in our head, oh, I don't really understand money. I don't know how it's handled. I'm poor at it. Well, because again, you're trying to avoid and you're trying to act like you're not smart about it when there's so many other things that you do so well and you're so competent. But when it comes to your money, you tell yourself, I don't understand. I can't figure out how these bills are getting the way they are, the interest rate, I don't know. That's an excuse, it's a cop-out. So that's again part of ghost spending. Sometimes when we're depressed and we're feeling bad about things, we will spend to fill that void. And when you get out there and spending, it's the big rush. You get that dopamine push of, it's so exciting to be in the stores and looking at all these wonderful things. But the reality is, it's again ghost spending because you still got to face it at the end of the month when those bills come in. You have to change your mindset. Sometimes we be feeling like we have a void, we don't have enough. Start telling yourself you do have enough. Because if you're trying to compare yourself with the people next door or whatever, you don't know what their circumstances is. It might look like they're doing really great. You don't know. So you don't want to try to compete or that way. Look at your own life and say, I have enough. If you got a roof over your head, you got food, transportation, get back and forth to work, you got a job, you have enough. And start that mantra telling yourself you do have enough. You have enough to make it. Also, another thing that we do is, which is part of ghost spending, is we don't look at the real numbers. So I'm gonna tell you to run the numbers. What do I mean by that? So you go to buy a car, you don't run the numbers. You don't think about, well, it's more than just that car payment, right? It's the maintenance for the car, gasoline, oil, all those things. So you need to look at and run the numbers. If you have to get the licenses and all those things, run the numbers so you know exactly how much you're paying each month. The same thing with the house. People think, well, I got enough for a mortgage. I'm paying a mortgage payment now for an apartment. Well, you got more. You got maintenance on the house. You also have the utilities. You have all of that to consider. Insurance. So that mortgage payment that you think is going to be $1,200 could really be more like $2,000. So run the numbers. That's another thing that you need to do. Look at your subscriptions. I talk about that sometimes, but people forget about them. I got rid of my Netflix and I loved it, sort of. But when I realized that I was only watching it maybe every other month or one or two shows and then I wasn't using it, that 14 something a month, multiply that by 12, I'm like, that's too much money. And so I canceled it and I haven't regretted it. So think about that, look at your subscriptions. So this is what I call about ghost spending because we're just spending willy-nilly and we're not looking at the impacts of it, what it is. If you adjust, if you look at what you're doing and don't be afraid, put that positive self-talk in your head, not the negative, you're gonna be okay. So thanks so much and have a great day.